Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the 2026 BMW M2. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This M2 is finished off in Portimao Blue Metallic, and with options, MSRP is just over $76,000. Now this is powered by the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder twin turbo engine. This model here is paired to the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 473 horsepower, 443 pound-feet of torque. It's rear-wheel drive, weighs in around 3,800 pounds. BMW claims 0 to 60 is 4.1 seconds, but these have been tested under 4 seconds with a top speed of 177 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 13.7 gallons, and you'll expect to see 16 miles per gallon in the city and 23 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 108.1 inches. Its overall length is 180.3. It has a width of 74.3, a height of 55.2, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.8 inches. Now, as we move on to the exterior styling, in my opinion, this is a very clean spec for this M2. The blue with the silver wheels is definitely spot on for this model. Now, up front, you'll notice all the gloss black, which I think is another good contrast with this blue. With the kidney grille, very subtle design. There's also large cutouts to provide additional cooling. And for the latest model, M2 has the silver surround. So that is a nice touch, especially with the silver wheels. You'll notice large inlets in the lower section of the bumper with all of the squared designs for the inlets. There's also parking sensors too, and then a dark housing for the LEDs. This front end definitely has more of a boxy design to it, but I think it looks great for this model. And then you'll notice there's some bulges on the hood as well, just to give it a cool look. Now, working our way back to these wheels, they have a multi-spoke design, and this also has the blue M Sport brakes. So body colored, which is again another nice touch. This also has body colored side mirrors that are power folding and have a turn signal. You'll notice the flush design for the door handle too, and the M2 almost has a factory wide body design to it. You'll notice the lower side skirt there that pokes out slightly, and the rear fender arch, which has a nice bulge to it. Also, an option for the M2 is the carbon fiber roof. So you can spec this with a sunroof, or you can go with the carbon fiber, and then all the window trim is blacked out as well. You'll notice the body colored trunk mounted spoiler. There's LEDs for all of the lighting, backup camera, all the parking sensors, and then more gloss black for the bumper and the quad tip dual exhaust. Now this does have remote start for the automatic, so you can use the key fob for that. And then you can just triple tap on the lock button again to shut it off. You can also use the key fob or the control underneath to release the trunk. Now for the M2, this is a very practical vehicle. You have a good amount of space in back. There's no storage under the floor, but you have a storage net on one side, and you can also fold down the back seats. There's also tie-down hooks as well. So for a vehicle that could be your daily, it's definitely something that is practical and fun to drive at the same time. Now, working our way to the interior, this has a nice subtle combo with all of the black and then blue stitching as well. You'll notice this neat trim accent. There's also memory seating adjustments, your mirror controls, window adjustments. With this mirror control as well, you have the left mirror and the right mirror, but if you leave it on the right mirror and you put the vehicle into reverse, it will actually tilt that mirror down, so that way you can see your wheels. If you're backing up, you're not going to curb a wheel or anything. It's definitely very helpful. There's also Harman Kardon for the audio. You have plenty of storage and the trunk release down below. And then with these seats, more of the blue stitching. There's the M2 badge there. They are automatic with the one manual leg support, so you can use that adjustment. Now with the M2, this also has back seats. So pull on that release there, and once you move the backrest, the seat is going to move its way forwards for you, allowing you to hop into the back. So this is a 4-seater, and as you can tell, you have legroom depending on where this seat is, of course. There's air vents in the middle. There's also a little bit of storage in between the seats. And at 5'10", I could ride around town. This would be a perfect vehicle if you have car seats, if you have smaller kids, you want a practical sports car, but you need the additional seats. So even, I released this seat here, even with me in the back, I could ride around if I needed to. And then you also have that additional storage space, like I mentioned earlier. You can also fold the middle seat down individually, and then you have a lot of glass. And I don't know if I mentioned, my head is just touching the headliner, so I could ride around town. But if I ever had to sell my Audi R8 and I needed back seats, this is a great option to go with. Now, as we hop in, we're greeted with a leather flat bottom design steering wheel with more carbon fiber accents, massive carbon fiber paddle shifters as well. But let's start this back up and take a listen to how this sounds. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster now, you'll notice on the left side, there's miles per hour and fuel. On the right side, there's the tach and engine temperature. Now to go through more of this information, you have controls on the right side where there's volume tuning, Bluetooth and voice commands. Push on the middle button, and now we can scroll through all of this content. So there's quite a lot that you can look at here. Some daily driving information, some performance information too, just depending on what you would like to see. And then you can also get into the head-up display. So when you scroll over to the right, now you have some info. You can go through your directional, your reduced, and you also have a standard view too. Now there's also M1 and M2, so you can go through the different driving modes and have shortcuts. Cruise control settings are on the left. There's also the headlight adjustments, one air vent, and then with the infotainment system, everything in the lower section is fixed, so you can always get to all of that information. And then you also have the rotary dial down below. Now with this model, you do have your drift analyzer, so if you want to have some drifting fun in this, you can do that. You also have the lap timer as well. So if you're doing some performance runs, you can have that going. You have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, your climate adjustments, different driving settings that you can get into. You can get into setup, so this is for M1 and M2. You can go from efficiency to Sport Plus for all of these settings here, depending on how you want the vehicle to react, which is great to see. And then we can also go back and keep scrolling and look at the rest of this information. Now on the home screen, you have all of these widgets, and you can customize these. You can add some as needed, depending on what you'd like to see. You can quickly get into all of the climates, pull up the navigation, get into your audio, and then this model has heated seats, a heated steering wheel, and then there's temperature adjustments. There's carbon fiber underneath that, which is an option. Some interior lighting with vents. There's also volume tuning, hazards, and defrosters. And then wireless charging, auxiliaries, and cup holders are underneath the carbon fiber lid. You have more of those shortcuts to go through this system, along with that rotary dial. And then this is how you put it into reverse. You have the backup camera, which is nice to see. It would be nice to have the 360 camera as an option. And then you have drive, sport mode, and then park, and the adjustments for the transmission, how slow or quickly you would like it to react. There's traction control, parking sensors, engine start stop. And then when you put this into M mode, you can go to sport or track. And you can have some more performance-oriented information, and you can also still go through the info on that left side. So depending on what you'd like to see, you have all of that, and you have a very large tach on the head-up display, so you can view that. The button behind that is setup, so that gets into M1 and M2 like I showed. There's an exhaust note, auto hold, and the e-brake. There's also an auxiliary and the armrest, a locking glove box with plenty of storage, and then garage door buttons and dome lights. And then here's a look at visibility. Very large windows for your rear passengers, which is also beneficial from the driver's seat. So you can even see over that left side too. As we sat up behind the wheel now for the M2, these aren't at dealers often because they're usually sold. It's a very popular platform from BMW, and you have a lot of different ways that you can spec the M2. Now I'm just in normal settings right now. As we took that turn, you have so much power and potential with this model. Now we actually had an M2 for a week. It was a few years ago, so not this body style, but we were able to take it to the mountains and really rip on it and experience its performance. This is a fantastic vehicle because you have all this performance, but you also have a practical vehicle too. If you need a car seat in the back, you have smaller kids, it's more than just you and one passenger. This is a perfect option to go with. I could even fit in the back and ride around if I needed to, which is nice to see. But let's talk about the power and performance. So I have it in the M mode here, along with all of the Sport Plus settings. And in the quickest shifting settings, which is this control on the back of the shifter, you can feel the shifts. So it gives you a little bit more engagement. And if you go all the way down to setting 1, it is going to tone it back where they're almost not there. You can hardly feel them when you do that. So it's very cool to see. All of the BMW M cars basically had this. So you can set the vehicle up to your driving conditions. All the way up is going to be a little bit too harsh for daily driving or if you're stuck in traffic, perfect though for those quick shifts. And then all the way down, opposite. Those aren't going to be the best for the quick shifts, of course, and it's going to lag. And the vehicle will also adjust for you in just the normal automatic settings. So it will shift quicker or shift slower by itself without using the paddle. So I think the driving characteristics of this vehicle is spot on. And you also have options like the carbon fiber seats, which I have been able to film an M2 with those seats. Personally, I would go with them. I know they're not for everyone, but even options like that, you can really spec this vehicle out if you're doing some more track driving or you're doing a lot of mountain drives and you want some more support. These seats here are fine. They're going to be a little bit more comfortable, of course, for daily driving, getting in and out, but they still have a good amount of support to them. And then just driving this, as you would expect from a BMW, I own an X5, so the driving characteristics are going to be similar in terms of the ride quality, how sound it is on the inside. This is a luxury vehicle at the end of the day. So if you want those luxury refinements, you want the nice materials, you just want something that's comfortable to drive normal if you're doing some errands or something like that, this is going to give you the perfect blend between that and having some fun. And from second gear, here we go. And just a minor acceleration. Hopefully you could see I could feel those shifts just because I didn't give it enough acceleration, but that's also something that you will feel with the shifting point all the way up. So now that we're in setting 1, it's going to be a lot smoother, and so you can configure that to your driving needs, which is fantastic to see. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the M2, where you have a great place to be. As far as headroom goes, at 5'10", I have about 3.5 inches at the moment, and I think the seat is all the way down. So for my height, I could easily put a helmet on and go to the track and do some more performance driving with that amount of headspace, which is great to see. This is a vehicle that I hope you're doing some performance driving with. Maybe not all the time, but it's something that will give you a very good vehicle for those settings. Now, if you do want more power, you can go with the M4, which still has the manual option too. However, with the M4, you can go X-Drive, so you can get all-wheel drive with the M4. So not quite as many options with this. You can still get the manual, you just have rear-wheel drive for the M2 here. So just depending on maybe your daily driving, if you need some extra grip, or you just want more usable power with the all-wheel drive system, you have a lot of M options from BMW. I think this is personally a really nice option to go with. For a little bit more money, you can go M4, but it will depend on how you spec both of them. That's the only reason I compare it with that, because we have two-doored four-seater coupes that have a lot to offer. But the M2 here, great daily driver, something that will give you everything in one. A practical vehicle, a comfortable vehicle, and something that you can do your performance driving in. And then real quick, as far as maneuverability goes, it's a pretty tight turning radius. It's a small vehicle, so it's easy to maneuver, and you can get back up to speed. So that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 BMW M2. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this for me today. Take a look at their website, give this video a huge thumbs up, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads, and I will see you all in the next video.